Hey, what's up, guys? Hassan here, and today I want to share my impressions on Hotline Miami. So let me start off with saying what it is. So Hotline Miami is an indie game, and it's a 2D top-down view action. I'm gonna say shooter. I'm not sure if it's exactly a shooter, but a top-down arcade game. So kind of like the old school like GTA and like GTA 2 and stuff, like when you have like this top-down view basically, and it's pretty interesting how they like reintroduced that in Hotline Miami. I'm gonna talk about that later. So I'm gonna talk in this video. I'm gonna talk about the gameplay, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. I'm gonna talk about the story, and at the end I'll give the score. So, alright, so let's start off with the gameplay and what I liked about it. So first of all, the thing is with this game is that it's very, very addicting. Like for me at least, I actually really fucking like this game. Um, but the thing is, like, I always had this feeling like I had to keep going, and that is kind of what made me like kind of addicted to it. Just like having to keep going to like want to know what happens next. And yeah, I guess that's a good thing for me. That is because I really like that. Like the game gradually becomes more and more challenging. Of course, like in the beginning, it's not really that challenging. It's just like getting used to the game and how it works, the controls, mechanics, and later on they really start to raise the bar, and like they're just gonna gradually like make it harder and harder to beat every single level. Um, but yeah, I mean, like at the end of the game, it's really pretty fucking challenging at times, and you're really gonna have a tough time trying to beat like the last few levels sometimes. Um, and then I guess I'm gonna talk about that later. But I like that personally because I felt like just having to replay the game, replay the same thing over and over until I actually do it right. I didn't really feel like that was a bad thing for me. I actually enjoyed that, like just perfecting the thing I wanted to do the whole damn time and just not being able to do it because I keep dying. And you like in this game you die fucking easily. Like one shot, if you get shot once, you're already dead. Like if you get punched in the head once, you're dead. It's like it's fucking ridiculous how easily you die in this game, but at the same time it makes it realistic and challenging, and I guess that's a good thing. I like that. Um, but yeah, whatever. So visually, this game also it looks really interesting, like very colorful and just like this classic-ish way. It just looks very like similar to older games, you know. Like when you look at this game and you look at an older game that's like this top-down view, it really has some very big similarities, and I actually really like that. I mean, I kind of miss that like from the old days when you had this top-down view like that. I kind of miss that, but at the same time, I don't miss it because you have this 3D right now, right? I mean, I actually prefer 3D than the top-down, of course. I mean, but yeah, I mean, this is just a little thing I thought that was kind of interesting. That they did that. I mean, I actually like that. It's not like I would prefer it over the other, but it's something that's just fun and will always keep you interested at times. Somehow, I don't know. Like maybe it's just me. I don't know. Whatever. So yeah. Another thing I liked about the game, of course, since it's an action and as I said, somewhat shooter-ish. It's an action game. So of course there's gonna be some like weapons and stuff like that, and like there's a pretty big variety of different weapons, though they're pretty much all like pretty much the same. You have your regular gun, and which are like shotguns, machine guns, pistols, stuff like that, you know, and then you have your like melee weapons, which are like your like bats and knives and what else? Golf clubs, you know, kind of that kind of stuff, and you also just have your like your fists basically, and it is funny how sometimes the game pretty much uh, yeah, the game like lets you choose what do you want to do. Do you want to go melee? Do you want to go with a gun? Do you want to go with your fists? And sometimes I felt like sometimes guns would not work in some situations. Like in close quarters, like guns sometimes are not the best idea. Sometimes it's just best to have a melee weapon or just your fists in close quarters. Uh, Simply because you can take down enemies really quickly if they're like really close to you. You can just like smack them all, and like if you have a melee weapon, of course, it's gonna be one shot kill. As soon as you hit him, he's dead. If you're fighting with your fists can only knock somebody down, but they won't be killed. They'll just stand up in a few seconds, but you can like take them down again by just smacking their head to the wall or to the ground, a few times. But that does take quite a while to actually do, and sometimes that actually does like really mess up your plan. Like when you're like taking this guy down, you can't stand up. So if there's someone running towards you or just like trying to shoot you, you're pretty much screwed if you're like trying to smack that guy's head on the ground. It really does take some time to actually kill somebody with the fists. But other than that, I mean, the weapons themselves are just good, and they all feel somewhat different and are better in some situations and worse in other situations. I actually really like that. I didn't really expect that to be the case, but guess what? It happened. So I'm pretty surprised by that, to say the least. But last thing I want to mention is that the checkpoint system in this game is pretty good as well. Like whenever you die, you pretty much get sent back to the beginning of your floor, because basically every fight basically happens in a building with different like floors, right? And you start off at the lower floor, of course, and then you just like pretty much just you find the stairs when you're done with a floor. You pretty much kill everybody in the floor. You go to the stairs. You get up on the stairs. That's your next checkpoint. So if you die on the lower floor, like with the last enemy, you just gotta go all the way back to the beginning of the floor, and you gotta kill all the enemies again. Now, that may sound frustrating, and it actually is sometimes. It is quite frustrating just to have like do the same thing over again, especially like when it's a really hard floor, like it's like really tough. Like there's fucking millions of them, of the enemies at least. There's like fucking, they're everywhere basically, and it's really difficult sometimes. And like when you die, you just feel like, God damn it, I should have seen that coming. But it's like pretty fast paced, and sometimes you gotta like really have some situation in which you're like, shit, I don't have time to think, I gotta do something right now, otherwise I'm gonna die. And pretty much you just panic at that point, and you're pretty much dead, unless you get lucky and you get behind a wall, like in a corner, that they all come into the room one by one, and you smack them all with your melee weapon. That kind of stuff has happened to me quite a lot, and actually like use that as an exploit sometimes to just kill like tons of these enemies at once. But yeah, I mean the checkpoint system, as I said, is pretty good. So it's not like it's not like the whole building is one checkpoint. It's like the floors are like pretty much one checkpoint each. So one floor is one checkpoint, the other floor is another checkpoint, then the last floor, whatever, is a checkpoint. I don't care, But yeah. Anyway, enough about the good gameplay parts. There are obviously two things I didn't really like about the gameplay. And first of all, is that, of course, as I said, the game can be really challenging at times. And for those people who do not like challenges too much, like if they don't feel like replaying the same thing over and over again, I don't know if this is the best game for you to finish, because at some point the game will get extremely difficult and perhaps extremely frustrating for those who do not like to repeat the same thing over and over. So if you're not like that kind of person who likes to try and beat something really difficult and like have to replay it over and over, if you don't like that kind of stuff, this is not the game for you. But if you can somehow like control your frustrations and keep replaying over and over until you do it right, and you actually like finish that part, when you finish some like a really difficult part of the game, you obviously will feel like fucking amazing. You'll feel like, oh, thank whatever is sacred that's over. Holy shit. Like sometimes I actually feel like that. I when I finished like one of those floors that were like really difficult, I feel like wow, that was like fucking insane. But I'm glad I managed to fucking beat that because that was so fucking hard. But yeah, I mean, some people feel like they get really frustrated really quickly, and others are like, I'm gonna keep going until I actually do this right. And when you do it right, you will be fucking happy as fuck. But then you notice the next floor is even tougher, and you're like, God damn it! It's like sometimes it's just really challenging. It may frustrate you, and it probably will. If you're someone who doesn't like to be frustrated while playing a game, this is not for you. If you're someone who can accept the frustration and like keep going, this might be a really good game for you. But, and this is the next thing I didn't really like about the gameplay, or actually the game in general, the game is way too short. Of course, this is an indie game, as I said, and indie games tend to be really short. There are exceptions, of course, but this one, Hotline Miami in particular, is really short. So I'm not sure how long it took me to finish this. I believe it was like 3 or 4 hours, and I had some moments in which I like spent 15 minutes like on one floor just trying to like, sweep through it because I couldn't beat it. It's like freaking hard. But yeah, I mean, it took me about 3 to 4 hours, maybe even 5. I'm not even sure. Like, I don't know how long it actually took me. I mean, I'm just guessing here, 3 to 4 hours. So yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a really long game for me. I mean, I am like, I'm used to games that are longer than 6 hours. But I guess, whatever. I mean, this is like, for what it is, it's a really good thing. Like, I actually really like these 3 to 4 hours. How challenging they were, how frustrating they were at times. It doesn't matter. It was fun, and that's the part that I liked about this. So even though it's really short, it is a fun experience, and I'm not sure if it's worth the money. I don't even know how much it costs at this point, but it's interesting. I'm going to say that. It's a fun game, that's for sure. Even though it's really short, it's a fun game. Alright, so enough about the gameplay. Let's continue with the story. And the first thing I gotta say about this story of the game is literally this. What is happening? That's pretty much the main question of the entire story. What is happening? Because like you're just thrown into this world like without any kind of explanation. You're just like, here you go. This is your world. This is your story. Go. Like that's pretty much it. There's no big explanation to what's going on at all. And you're like through the entire game, you're pretty much just like, why am I doing this? Who the hell are all these people? Who am I? Why? What is going on? You know, like it's just so, like the story is so strange. It almost feels like you have to be fucking drunk or like on drugs to understand what's going on in this game. It's like it's fucking strange. But yeah, like that actually like keeps you going as well because you want to kind of get the idea of what's going on in the story and you kind of want to keep playing to see if something happens in the next part, if like there's going to be some kind of revelation or something like that. Because you like throughout the story you do like get reminded of these like 3 people who are continuously trying to explain to you what's going on, sort of. Like it's not like they're not really trying to explain it. I mean, they're just trying to tease you into playing the game, basically. Like they're trying to, like they're saying that they might explain something to you. But then when you eventually do get to them, again, they're not going to explain anything, and you're just like, God damn it, just say something. Let me know what's going on at this point. But yeah, it's interesting. The story is very strange, but it makes it interesting as well. But yeah, the ending of the game does kind of explain what is going on. It is kind of silly actually, because like when you think the game is ending, when you think you're at the last part of the game, you're gonna be surprised. I'm not gonna say what happens, but you're gonna be surprised what happens at the end of the game. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing. The ending does explain some stuff. It's silly, but it does explain something. but it doesn't explain everything that happens. It's just like strange, like basically strange. Because like the ending does leave you with more questions than answers. At least it did for me. Like I still had many things I wanted to know, but the game doesn't answer any of those questions, and just like, so wait, I just spent 3 to 4 hours battling through fucking hundreds of enemies just to get no answers. What is going on? you still get left with this question. What is going on? And that's something, I guess they wanted that question to be in your mind, and if that is the case, then they really did that quite well. And yeah. So I guess I don't have anything more to add to this. So the score I would give this game, my verdict. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I've decided to give this game an 8 out of 10. One reason why I didn't give it any higher is because of the length. I mean, I don't like short games, and this one is short for me. Second reason is that, of course, although this story thing is interesting and I like how they did it, if they wanted to do it like this, they did it a really good. They did a really good job. But I would have preferred if they did answer some questions instead of like leaving you with more questions than answers. But yeah, whatever. I mean, 8 out of 10 is still a very good score, and it is a fun game. But I'm not sure if it's worth it for you. I mean, if you don't like challenges, if you don't feel like repeating the same thing over and over, this is not for you. Don't even look at it. If you're someone who can't accept a challenge and can like is not frustrated enough to be like to like shit, how am I supposed to say it? Oh, okay, wait, hold on. So if you're someone who does not get frustrated as quick as others, and if you're someone who can't accept to keep playing the same thing over and over, then this is you should at least check it out. Like, give it a shot. It's not really expensive, I think. So if you're someone who kind of likes those challenges, like kind of like Dark Souls, I guess. I mean, I heard Dark Souls is pretty hard as well. If you're kind of like this person who likes Dark Souls, I think Hotline Miami might be a really good game as well for you. But yeah, other than that, I don't have anything to add to this. So yeah, I guess that is that for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. After this, I'll be doing my Sly Cooper Thieves in Time impressions video. I'm not sure when I'll be able to do that. I mean, I think I'm going to be able to do it next week or maybe even this week. I don't think so, but probably next week. And after that, I might take a short break from YouTube for a few weeks. Although I might upload some random stuff every once in a while, but yeah, other than that, this is it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Later.